Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa is attending a Shembe church service near Ndwendwe, south of Durban today. It forms part of the ANC's campaign ahead of its election manifesto launch on Saturday. The church has over 4 million members countrywide. Our reporter Samkele Maseko is there and joins us now live from Durban. So why is Cyril Ramaphosa visiting the Shembe church in particular, Samkele?
Well, Tembegile, just on a point of clarity there, we are not in Durban. We're in an area called Ndwendwe, Entsuze. We are in Entsuze in the Ndwendwe local municipality, in the Ilembe district municipality. This is a Shembe church. It's not the original Shembe mountain in Tlangagazi, which many people are accustomed to Shembe going to. That is on the other side of this mountain. That would be close to the Mantobelo hospital in Ndwendwe. So we are in Entsuze. This is a breakaway or a breakaway within the Shembe church. You'd understand that the Shembe church is split into various portions within that church. We've got about 5 different Shembes. For instance, I'm going to step out of shot now. There's a lot of fog here, so I'm not sure if my colleague Joel Matala could be able to show you these Kanana Shembe community members who have gathered at this particular church. We are also told that the president of the country and of the ANC will be landing with a chopper any time from now. He will not be landing in this particular mountain. He'll be landing in about 5 kilometers away from here. Then they will drive up to this particular mountain where ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa and President of the country will meet these various Shembe congregants gathered here at this Kenana Shembe Community Church in Entsuze, Tembegile.
And of course, Samkele, one cannot talk about the ANC and its business without looking at the close relationship between politics and the church, given that this is a party that was actually formed in a church building in Bloemfontein in 1912.
Yes, indeed. You can't separate the ANC and the church because they were formed in a church in various political aspects in the life of the ANC, whether it be the Mass Democratic Movement or the United Democratic Front. They were always very close to the religious community, as the religious community guided them and was with them during the liberation struggle. It's just in recent political times that the ANC has been at loggerheads with the various church community. For instance, you had the South African Council of Churches having produced that document of the unbundling of the various allegations of state capture that may have taken place in the country. You've got them being very vocal these days on political issues. You'd remember Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, when many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, when he said, quote, "I am warning you, Zuma, I am warning you," end of quote. You'd remember those famous words by Desmond Tutu, warning former President Jacob Zuma of the escalating levels of corruption in the country and all the misdeeds that were perceived by the church that the former President Jacob Zuma was doing. So this incumbent president of the country and of the ANC has been trying to take back the ANC to the church and to the communities and to the social and civic movements in the country to address various issues of socio-economic inequalities in the country, whether it be poverty, inequality and unemployment. So he's trying to bring them on board. The ANC is trying to draft its elections manifesto, so they're going to various communities, various religious groups to try and draft a manifesto that speaks to all South Africans. Whether they can do that is a debate on its own, and whether they can address the various issues facing South Africans is another issue on itself. But just not to speak on this particular congregation here at the Kanana Shembe community, this area of Entsuze is a very impoverished area. For instance, when we drove up coming to this mountain top here, the road coming up here is a gravel road. It's a relatively poor community. The only infrastructure that they have is RDP houses that have been built over the past 5 years. We also saw a water treatment plant with a nearing dam that was consulted, a small dam, to try and supply this particular area with water. But where we are At the top of this mountain, there is no running water here. I'm not sure if my colleague Joel can show you the tents that have been constructed by the various congregants here of this particular church, where they sleep in, and when in the mornings they come to the church service here, but they do sleep in those tents which they have constructed in this particular mountain.
All right, ENCA reporter Samkele Maseko out for us there as we continue to track the ANC's movements across KZN in the build-up to the party's manifesto launch at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban on Saturday.